Today, you once again, as we all do, rightly condemn the crimes against humanity of Vladimir Putin in the invasion of Ukraine. And you cite and indeed you are supportive of sanctions and so on against Russia, possibly replacing Russian gas and energy. You might be interested to know that as one response to this, Joseph Biden's advisors are considering that he should go to Saudi Arabia to replace Russian oil with Saudi Arabian oil. Now, I just wonder what you think about the irony of this, because Saudi Arabia, of course, is a brutal dictatorship, supported by the US and the UK, armed by them and engaged in a bloody war in Yemen. Do you think it would be, consistent if we replaced the oil and gas from Russia, one despotic warmongering country, with the oil of another despotic warmongering country, Saudi Arabia?
In terms of, Deputy Boyd Barrett raised the issue of Saudi Arabian oil as opposed to Russian oil. I think Deputy Cohen hit the nail on the head. It's not to choose, it's to end our dependency on fossil fuels and to end our dependency on Russian gas and oil in particular. Because there is a vulnerability. But look, I don't agree with your moral equivalence. The one country in the world that has wreaked terrible war on a people is Russia. You keep trying to qualify it, you keep trying to dilute it. Let's keep a singular focus now on Russia and what it's doing. Killing women and children. And stop coming in here every day trying to qualify it, having an each-way bet. It's appalling what I'm witnessing. I want to say this much. I hold no truck for any despot or any dictatorship regime. But this I know. Europe is the most peaceful, the European Union is the most peaceful organisation on the international geopolitical landscape right now. Europe is the biggest donor to Ukraine right now. Europe is the biggest donor to Africa right now. Europe has been the biggest donor in terms of vaccines across the globe. Europe is playing its part, and all I hear here is attempts to try and undermine Europe's role. Now, the next objective has to be, my view in terms of what everybody has said here, the fundamental change, the lesson from this war is, it's clear as night follows day. We've got to double down on renewables. Got to double down on renewables. That's the ultimate way out of this, so that countries don't have leverage to shield and protect their despotic regimes. That's the lesson. And Germany has learned, Germany has worked very hard for decades, reaching out the hand of friendship to Russia, working with Russia, having strategic patience in terms of how Russia might develop and so on. I don't decry, and we're in no position to lecture Germany now. Germany has not invested in its military to the same extent as others have for decades, for obvious historic reasons. But this attack and this turning the world's rule-based order upside down means Germany has to take the action it's taking. I can't criticise Germany for what it's doing. Germany has to make sure that its people are protected, that its way of life is protected. It's vulnerable. Europe is vulnerable now. If you look at the array of military hardware that was on display at sea, at air and on the ground by Russia in the last month or so, we have to wake up and smell the coffee. There are realities there. And I just want to say that I believe that Europe needs to work very hard on renewables, and that idea of a super pan-European renewable grid is something that will take time to develop, but it's something that Europe should focus on, and I will be raising it with European Commission and others. And the European Commission has said this, by the way, that when they look at the oil map or the energy map of Europe, the European Commission is saying the only way out is more renewables.